What is up, guys, gals, you awesome means and gamers of different shapes and sizes. It is me, Josh, again on Proxy, bringing you some Titanfall 2 today on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it is pretty freaking awesome. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video and why not subscribe for more Titanfall 2 content, because I am finally back from New Zealand. It's been a while, but we're actually doing some videos now. We're actually going to get back into this. We did do some random little For Honor ones and stuff like that, but I will actually be getting back into For Honor 2. It was this really weird thing. So basically, when For Honor came out, I played it for like a week non-stop. I tried to record as many videos as possible for doing videos in the future, but while doing that, I ended up finding out that the internet just started really sucking. And this is one of the things, because I was in New Zealand, the internet just sucks there. It's just really, really bad. It's one of these opposite sides of the world kind of things where, because they're so not focused on technology, and if there's anyone from New Zealand or Australia watching this and they can confirm this, it's one of these things where, like, why? You know, like, it's the modern era. Why isn't internet, like, a major thing over there? Like, obviously, it's, like, a really hot set of countries and stuff, and so, obviously, they want to be outdoors, and it's just one of these things that I noticed as well is that, like, things like video games, movies, music, and everything like that comes out last in those countries, which is just depressing. So, like, if you live over there and you want to play a brand new video game, you generally get it last, which really sucks. And so I was just thinking to myself, I could never live there. I could never actually stay in that country, because everything that I love, everything that kind of like I hold dear to my heart, everything that I treat like a family, like my video game controller, I love you. I would kiss you if you had a mouth. But it was one of those things where, because I love that kind of medium, I can't enjoy it over there because they just don't have anything. And the really annoying thing too about being in that country is that games cost like 30% more, which is ridiculous. So, like, if you want a video game, it costs $99, which I believe is around that. I think that's around like 60 to 70 pounds in the 60+ area. Video games in England cost around 45 pounds. So knowing that you have that extra, say, 10 to 15 pounds on top of a video game in that country is ridiculous. It's stupid. And I remember just looking at a bunch of games and thinking, why? Just, no, I'm not thinking about it now. It's in the past. We're playing Titanfall 2, and this is the Livewire update. This is the really cool thing, too, is this is actually me playing in New Zealand as well. This isn't the New Zealand region, though, because New Zealand do not touch Titanfall 2. Like, I tried to play on their data center, but nobody plays it. Nobody plays video games over there. That's the thing I kind of got used to, is that even when I tried to play, say, like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and stuff like that, nobody plays video games over there, especially multiplayer games. It's just so unusual. Obviously, they sell video games, but there is just not that multiplayer community that, say, the like European Union has, or America, you know. It's so unusual. It's so weird. So when I was actually playing Titanfall 2, as you know, I was having to play in the Japanese data center, which means I still couldn't play with people from America or the, like, you know, the EU. And so it was just depressing, because they're really good at games. And so I was getting my ass kicked constantly, because all they do is play video games. All I do is play video games. I was one among many, you know. It was cool being part of that kind of union of video gaminess, but they are really good, which is something I complained about previously. But either way, Livewire update has come out, really cool, really awesome, a little bit different. I mean, I say it's cool and awesome. It is really cool and awesome. As you can see, the map is really, this is one of the really brand new maps, and it's really fun. It's only developed for Livewire, which is kind of a shame, because I really do love this kind of like forest kind of developed thing, but it is only for the Livewire map. Now, when it comes to Livewire, as you probably know if you've seen the advertisement for it, it is actually player versus player. So it is just kind of like, or should I say pilot versus pilot? Basically means that there's no AI. Player versus player, no AI. So it's basically, you have no Titans, you have no grunts, it is just the players, it is just the pilots. And it's one of those things where, personally to me, it kind of feels a little bit contradictive of what Titanfall is, because as we already know, Titanfall is the title of the, you know, of Titanfall. And so you kind of expect it to always be about robots, but what the Respawn Entertainment guys and gals have actually ended up doing is making a brand new mode, as you can see here, where basically it's just pilots going against each other. Now with Livewire, it's a little bit different, because it's kind of inspired by, say, the Halo 5 Guardians mode. Can't remember what it's called, but it's basically the exact same thing. I think it was called like Execution or something like that. And as you know, me and Alexis played a lot of it back in the day on Halo 5, where basically you have two teams, where obviously it's two teams, and it's Titanfall, it's all, that's what multiplayer is, it's two teams going against each other and fighting, kicking some ass, and possibly showing a little bit of love through murder, possibly, potentially, I'm not too sure. But basically what you do is you have two separate teams, and then what they have is one life each. So every player has one life, and then if you kill the enemy team, with those 1 lives, that means that they die. They lose. That you win that round. So it's kind of like Counter-Strike in a sense. If you've ever played Counter-Strike and such, you have is it generally like 3 rounds? It's kind of like a best of 3 to 5, I think it is. But you have both teams, they all have 1 life, and it's this thing where you have to try and like do the objective or kill the entire team. So in Livewire, you actually have a flag in the middle. So this is a really cool thing as well, is that you actually have a multiple objective kind of thing where you can go out for the enemy team, but say that your entire team gets murdered, it's just you left against, say, like 3 to 4 to the entire team of the enemy, then it means that you can actually go for this flag in the middle of the map, and if you can keep that within the 60 seconds of the match length, or the round length, should I say, then that means that you can actually win the match that way too. So it's one of these things where you can actually, like, say, team up with other players, say, grab the flag, and then they defend you while you try and, like, hide in a corner or just run around the map and stuff, which is something that I actually do in this. Like, I was going for that flag. That flag is really, really useful. It's a massive tide turner. And so generally what you do is you end up, like, going into the middle of the map, dropping down loads of electric smoke, like, in front of their, like, spawn area. Not their spawn area, but, like, the wall area where they jump from the spawn to try and get the flag. So as you can see here, like, I try and, like, line it up so I can do that. And it's, like, a really cool thing because you end up, like, running into the heat of battle and just trying to grab that flag so you can actually win it for your team. This guy here was ready for me. Like, I was doing it way, way, way too much. Like, it was my objective, was to get that flag because it is, again, really useful for your teammates. Funnily enough as well, when it comes to the whole pilot versus pilot thing, player v player, is that obviously you have different classes when it comes to Titanfall 2. You have different pilot classes. You can do things like warping through teleportation, or you can use a grapple hook, or you can drop a shield, or you can go cloaked. You have all of these different abilities for different classes, but funnily enough, a few of them aren't very useful in Titanfall 2's Livewire mode, which I found kind of interesting because obviously you want to have this thing where you can kind of like prefer your own playstyle, but I ended up finding that actually using the shield wall, or the A wall I think it is called, is that kind of like asshole wall? I'm not too sure. I hope not, because if people actually rub up against this orange wall that I'm using right now, then that'd be kind of worrying. But basically, a lot of people actually end up using this class because you can actually drop down that shield. It protects you from all incoming damage in front of that A wall. It sounds so funny to say. And it's this thing where it also amplifies your damage. So obviously, because you're going against a team of, say, like 6, right? But you're also having to have 1 life each. If you can actually take down at least 1 to 2 of those enemy players, it's actually really contributing. So as you can see here, look, I actually have the flag. I'm trying to defend myself. This guy tries to go for me, but I'm able to use that A wall. That's so funny to say. And amplify that damage and just hit fire him to death. You know, it was one of those really cool things where I was on the defensive, but I also had an offensive boost as well. Really badass, really cool, nice tactic. And it was one of these things I just figured out for myself. I thought it was really, really awesome. I want to share with you today. I thought it'd be really cool to do this. So this was the only time I've ever played Livewire, because after this I stopped playing Titanfall because it was just too difficult. It was just too difficult to play because obviously I was having to play it from a different country, and even playing it in the Japanese servers, it was like 100+ ping, and that is just way too much for me. Like, I got really lucky with this match because it was one of these things where there was just no lag whatsoever, and because you're also having to try and use the internet in New Zealand, working against, say, like the Japanese data center to the New Zealand like internet companies and all that kind of stuff, is just frustrating, you know? So it was this thing where I was like, maybe it's just best to have a little bit of a break and then come back home and then get back into it once I get home. I don't know if you kind of agree with that. I think that's kind of like the best thing for what I chose to do. So I ended up doing that. It was the same thing as well when it came to For Honor. So a lot of people already know that For Honor has major, kind of not major, but kind of like a consistent amount of network issues. And so what I was having to do as well with For Honor is just play the campaign and just play against AI, and then kind of sometimes try my hand at playing the multiplayer. I did play a lot of the multiplayer, but again, it was this thing where because they use, say, like data centers and stuff, you're not constantly kind of getting exposed to the entire world when it comes to the multiplayer. And so I didn't really get the full experience of For Honor, so I do want to go back into that game, trying to do more stuff of that, because I love playing those games. I love playing multiplayer games, and as you know, when I was showing you For Honor when it came to the campaign and also came to the multiplayer in the beta, I loved it to death. I thought it was really, really fun, and I bought that game. I want to play, I want to experience it. Plus, there are so many other games out at the moment. You got Neo, you got Nier about to come out, you have Horizon Zero Dawn, which is so freaking awesome, which I've been playing at the moment while trying to recover from my jet lag. But it's this thing where, like, I would stream Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe I will in the future, but it's one of those games where, like, because it's open world, it's so boring to watch. You know, like, I have been not able to watch anybody play that game just from, like, curiosity of the gameplay before it came out. Like, it was just so boring to see people watch it. Maybe it's because of the commentary, I'm not too sure. But, personally, it's one of those games that you want to play for yourself. So if you actually have a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro, please get Horizon Zero Dawn, experience it for yourself. It's really cool, really awesome, really fun, and I highly recommend it. I've been having a really good time with it. And this is from someone who doesn't really enjoy Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty 5 went over my head. You know that I enjoyed it through my Let's Play like a few years ago, but it's not like anything compared to what Horizon Zero Dawn offers. Like, I really love that kind of more simplistic, straightforward Red Dead Redemption kind of feel to it, where you have more environmental stuff and less town city things. Like, I really like that about, say, like Red Dead Redemption, especially Horizon Zero Dawn, because you're more going into the wilderness. It's kind of like Far Cry Primal in a sense. Like, if you ever remember Far Cry Primal, where you're playing as kind of like a caveman, it's kind of like that kind of thing, where you're kind of going against nature, but nature is actually a giant amount of animalistic robots, mecha stuff, and that's awesome because I love robots. That's the main thing. That's why we play Titanfall, because robots are fantastic. They're sexy. They're really, really cool. And because it's developed by Guerrilla Games, as we already know, they're really awesome at developing the Hellgas from Killzone, but also the robots in that. So it was this thing where it was like a merging of some really cool ideas, but also getting an experience from Guerrilla Games that is just so different and so cool. It's amazing to see a developer make an open world game for the very first time, but do it so perfectly, in a sense. Like, it's such a tactical game. It's so unique, so different, and I'm just having a really good time with it. Like, really, really good time with it. And it's one of these things where you got so many games coming out at the moment. You have the Nintendo Switch out too, obviously, with like Zelda, which has come out. What's it called? It's called Breath of the Wild or something. Like, that game's gone completely over my head. I don't really think I'll get it unless I get it for the Wii U, because supposedly the Wii U version looks pretty much the same as the Switch version, but it's just like a different frame rate kind of consistency or something like that, but the visuals are the same. So I'll probably get it for my Wii U if I did try it, but I haven't played a Zelda game in years. Like, not since like Link to the Past. No, not since Wind Waker. It was Wind Waker when I played the last Zelda, which was GameCube. Holy shizzle. But either way, bring you some live wire. I would love to know your opinion of the Constitution Blow. Another thing to mention as well is that they've actually got a really cool, brand new, rebuilt UI system in the main menu, which basically allows you to try different game modes into a playlist, which is really fantastic. So let me know what you think to that as well. Basically now, instead of just playing Attrition and Bounty Hunter, you actually can make a playlist of different game modes to try, which means that hopefully those game modes will get repopulated in the future. So hopefully get to check that out in the future as well and discuss it with you. But either way, it's been me, Josh, again, Proxy, bringing you some live wire on Titanfall 2 on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I'd love to know your opinion in the conversation below. It's been me, Josh. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and want to subscribe for more Titanfall 2 content in the future. But I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.